Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pacers Daily. I'm your host, Hery Acosta. Before I go into the video of anything, legendary actor Eric Dane passed away. And the reason I'm bringing it up is I've been a fan of his you know, I've always been a big fan of Grey's Anatomy. And recently, watching Euphoria, he's always had this really big presence no matter what character he plays. Been a lot of other big movies, a lot of other big shows. But those are really the two roles that I've always known him in, just because those are genuinely two of my top 10 favorite shows all time. Um, that actually marks the second cast member from Euphoria to pass away in the last few years. But, just rest in peace, Eric Dane. And let's get into the video. Um, Pacers played today, or by the time I'm recording, we lost to the Wizards, which honestly, right? I mean, the Wizards were really the only team we gotta pretty much fight for that worst spot in the conference. Quick stats before I genuinely jump into actual player stats. The Pacers shot 41% from this game. There's a lot of players that were just shooting here and there, hoping something goes in. 15 of 42 from three, so 36% from three. They actually shot better than Washington in that aspect. Good free throw shooting, 82%. Grabbed 61 rebounds, and I'm gonna actually point out some numbers here in a minute. 8 offensive rebounds, 22 assists, 7 steals, 4 blocks. All those numbers were actually less than Washington. 30 points in the paint. Once again, we just don't do anything in the paint. This is a big number. We had 23 turnovers to their 10. We had 9 turnovers at the half. Third and fourth quarters kept turning the ball over. We scored 33 and 25 in the third and fourth quarter, but the reason that didn't matter is because we lost the second quarter by 10. We were down by 2 in the first. At one point, we were actually up by a little bit. Um, we were up by 9. I think it was 13-4. It was like the only really lead we had. They were up by 17. They had a lot more points off turnovers. They had 30 compared to our 14. So there's a lot to take away from this game. Now, number one is keeping the ball. There was a play where Talon Peter grabbed the long rebound, and his mind was going quicker than his body. As in, he was already thinking about the shot before he even got up to court. And he's still a rookie, still a young guy, not a guy who drives a lot to the paint. And he just ended up pretty much kicking the ball out of bounds when he pretty much almost had I wouldn't say open because he was being guarded. And the Wizards had some pretty good performances tonight. I will not lie. Um, but just one of those things where just got to do better in that sense. Touch up on a lot of these mistakes for next season. Gonna be a long off season. Maybe we'll pick up another key piece. Maybe do some trades. Who knows? At the time of recording this video, though, Bennett Mathurin is actually killing it for the Clippers. So it's good to see him playing good. I am gonna miss Mathurin. I'm a big fan. I have his jersey right here. But continue to do big things, man. Now let's actually talk about some performances. We're gonna start with the Wizards players. Vukovic, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 steals. Crazy game from the big man. But guy I want to talk about is Anthony Gill. Now he's been in the league only a few years, and he's 33 years old. Meaning he just was in the G League, he was overseas for a lot. Obviously, had a long college career, but he's never averaged more than 4.1 points per game. But today, he had 13, 8, and 3 on top of 1 block. He was their leading rebounder today, and he was hitting pretty much anything that came to him. 6 and 9 from the field. We all know he's not necessarily the craziest 3 point shooter, but he made his only 3 point shot of today. He's always been, besides one season where he pretty much made like 3 out of 7 or something. Big performance from him. Good performance from young guys like Bub Carrington, Trey Johnson, Richmond, Jaden Hardy. Jaden Hardy's getting some shots now. I mean, he's 5 of 13, but he seems a lot more relaxed playing in a system where you can just shoot, kind of pulling a Michael Porter Jr. and just trying to put up big stats on a bad team. Also, good performance from Bilal Coulibaly. Keyshawn George, I thought would play better, but he was only 3 for 10, only played 18 minutes. So they really utilized a lot of their bench. Richmond, Richmond's been playing pretty decent. I mean, In his first game, he had 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist, but in just his second game, 13, 5, and 3, 5 of 7 shooting, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. But let's talk about some Pacer performances that I want to talk about. The near triple double that Jarris Walker had, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. His shooting was point blank abysmal. 5 of 15, 1 of 7 from 3, 8 of 10 free throws, so he got to the free throw line, exactly what I want to see. Good performance from Jay Huff. He had 15 points and 8 rebounds. Also 15 points, 6 of 8 shooting from Ben Shepherd. Yes, I want to see Ben Shepherd continue to develop on the offensive end. Talon Peter, one that I really want to talk about, 16 points, 5 of 12 shooting. Needs to hold on to the ball better. There's a lot of turnovers that really shouldn't have happened. But Nembhard had 6 turnovers, and he scored 5 points, 4 assists. Neesmith had 3 points, didn't make a single field goal. Our star players just weren't there. They just weren't playing their best games. Um, Obviously, Siakam was out this game, and Zubac is still not back. McConnell's still dealing with a hamstring soreness. But Ethan Thompson's another one that didn't play the best. He was 1 for 7, 2 points. But it's good to see Kobe Brown, 12 and 9, and Micah Potter, 14 and 6. It's good to see them playing very good. I'm actually very excited to see what else Micah Potter and Kobe Brown can do off the bench. I genuinely think even when we start getting players back, they should continue to get minutes and just make sure our G League guys just stay ready because, there's going to be games where some people take rests, some games where people are going to be hurt. Cam Jones only played 14 minutes. He was 2 for 2, 4 points. He did get hurt, but he should be back pretty soon. Was just a minor injury. It's really the same injury he's been dealing with over and over. It's his back injury, but I think he'll be fine. Nothing really out of the ordinary came out from that. So, this good performance all around for the Pacers. I'm glad that they at least kept it competitive. Yeah. So yeah, it was a fun game to watch. The first half was definitely very entertaining. Second half was like up and down. Just really pay attention to turnovers. We don't want to have a lot of turnovers. That killed us in so many different games last year, especially game 7 of the finals where we could have easily won that game. But the Thunder shot way more than we did just because of our turnovers. So, it's just definitely something we want to continue to look at. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing an Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite player is going to go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, or more. Get your pick shot, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Now, here's what we're going to talk about today. Anthony Edwards versus Dallas. Points, 28.5. Higher, lower. For this one instant, I'm going to go with lower. I mean, we saw Julius Randle pop off the other night while Anthony Edwards kind of took a back seat. This team has a lot of good scores. We could see DiVincenzo go for 30. We could see Jaden McDaniels play a crazy 3-and-D game. For Edwards, I'm going to go lower just for the sense that he may hit something like 25 or 26 and then just kind of play more team ball. And then the other player I'm going to look at is Zion Williamson, 23.5 points. This one might be. I'm going to go higher just because I genuinely think that there's nobody on Milwaukee that can really match with Zion. Obviously, not the best 3-point shooter, but there's really. Miles Turner is not going to stop him in the paint. Bobby Portis is not going to stop him in the paint. There's no one on that team that is going to stop Zion Williamson in the paint. And a healthy Zion Williamson is a scary sight. So, I'm going to go higher with that 23.5. Who knows? Maybe you could have a crazy game. So, but use promo code BasketballFan to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Easy. Scan this QR code, put in that promo code, and then put in some money, win some money, get some free bets. Simple as that. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-878 or text HOMI 467-369.
I've always found it crazy at the Pacers. I've never had a number 1 pick. We've had a lot of high draft picks, but never genuinely a number one pick. You've seen how we built our team. We built our team through basically trading for a lot of guys who were high lottery picks but never really got that chance. Well, what's stopping us from getting a lottery pick this year? We were gonna have one no matter what, but the trade really sets us as to either we gotta be super bad and get lucky in the lottery, or be decent enough to at least get like the 10th pick. But that's not gonna happen. We're most likely gonna end up kind of higher on the draft board. Either way, it's going to be really interesting if both the Pacers and the Thunder have a super high draft pick because the Thunder do have the Clippers first round pick. And who knows, the Clippers might actually drop ever since they traded both Zubac and Harden, who, outside of Leonard, obviously, were their two best players. But I, as someone who's both a big Colts fan and a Pacers fan, I have seen the Colts multiple times have the number one pick. Obviously, they drafted Peyton Manning. I wasn't around when they drafted Peyton Manning, but they drafted Peyton Manning, drafted Andrew Luck, back in the early 90s drafting Jeff George, and then obviously the infamous John Elway traded to Denver draft. But Colts have had a lot of drafts. And I think that they drafted a defensive end one year. I think it was like Steve Emtman or something. If that's right, I know ball. But overall, I am very excited because I've seen the way Ponce's been playing. He's averaging 24.8 points for BYU. Cameron Boozer's going crazy for Duke. I'm not set. Yes, I think Darren Peterson's gonna be a dog in the NBA, but I don't think he's fit for our team. But people are gonna disagree with that. And last but not least, we're playing Washington on the day this drops. Again, we'll see what we do. I mean, a lot of the same old. Siakam might be back for this game. Um, Never mind. I actually got an update that he isn't gonna be back for that game, which is fine. Just continue to develop young guys, continue to see what they can do, and just make sure that our G leaguers don't try not to go over the 50 game mark because I would really like to see what they can do. So last but not least, you already know. I'm Hery Acosta. This is Pacers Daily. Boom, baby, and go Sirs.